Are they really bringing Twinkies back, Mrs. Call Screener? Miss Call Screener, I apologize. See, I caught myself there. I gotta get used to that. But are they really bringing Twinkies back, Miss Call Screener? Because I think we should send some, not only to Michael Morefood, but also to Barney Frank. Because that man, I'm sure, loves the Twinkies too. Now, Chris Matthews from MSLSD, another nut, another moron, also was quick to say that the domestic terrorists tend to be on the far right shortly after the bombing in Boston. Here's an article from The Blaze. MSNBC's Chris Matthews wasted no time in questioning whether the other day's horrific bombing of the Boston Marathon was a politically motivated attack. On Hardball tonight, the host openly questioned whether at least a portion of the horror was an intentional attack against the Democratic Party. Matthews made his controversial comments when he assumed that a purported explosion at the JFK Library was associated with the bombings. Quote, "I was just thinking again, it's early. It's an early situation, but going after the Kennedy Library, not something at Bunker Hill, not something from the Freedom Trail or anything that kind of historic, but a modern political figure of the Democratic Party," he said. "Does that tell you anything?" These comments were uttered during an exchange with Michael Leiter. Leader? I don't really care how to pronounce that, Miss Call Screener. Former director of the United States National Counterterrorism Center. Matthews proceeded his questioning of whether the Democrats were under siege with the following statement. Listen to this. Listen to this. Quote, "Let me ask you about domestic terrorism as a category. Normally, domestic terrorists, people tend to be on the far right." And it goes on, but I'm not going to read it because it's just completely idiotic and illogical. Unbelievable, isn't it, folks? Absolutely unbelievable. All of these nitwits on the left wing jumping to conclusions, blaming the right wing, saying that it was right-wing extremists when they don't know a damn thing. And can you imagine if the opposite was true, ladies and gentlemen? Can you imagine if the conservatives immediately took the position and said that it was a left-wing nut who made these attacks? Could you imagine the outcry? Could you imagine what they would be saying? They'd be going nuts. Barney Frank and Michael Morefood would be rolling all over the place like the bowling balls that they are. Chris Matthews would be spitting like crazy. David Axelrod would be spewing his illogic left and right. I mean, it'd be hysteria. But we really shouldn't expect anything less from the left wing now, should we, folks?
Factor Talk Radio.